the #1 offense in the Lions against the #2 offense in the Bills. Buffalo comes out as victorious with a massive 48-42 victory over Detroit. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. He's Hall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm your host, Maddy Glab. We're presented by Paramount Plus. Buffalo had their best day on offense yet this season. 559 total yards of offense, 4 total touchdowns by Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Steve, what type of statement did the Bills make tonight?
Well, they did it in Detroit's house, and Detroit was flying high as well, and they did it with a very depleted defense, as you can tell. 42 points given up, but that was they had guys dropping all over the place, as did the Detroit Lions. They weren't 100% either, but these two offenses took over, and you saw 2 elite quarterbacks, 1 MVP candidate, or 2 MVP candidates, if you listen to Detroit fans.
Yep.
These 2 guys lit it up. It was everything we thought it could be, that we thought we probably weren't going to get lucky enough to see. Yeah, we saw it. 91 points. For the second week in a row, the Bills are in the highest scoring game in the National Football League this season. They lit it up. The Bills got everything they needed out of their offense. Josh Allen was absolutely off the charts. They got huge contributions from James Cook. They got them from
Ty
Johnson early in the game. Their defensive line really took a huge step up this year. They played an inspired performance, and it was really a different team than we saw last week. Even defensively, even get up 42 points, they were much different than they were a week ago.
Yes, they forced a takeaway in this one, which was huge because Buffalo's offense was able to capitalize off of that. Josh Allen finishes with 362 passing yards. Jared Goff on Detroit's end of things finishes with 494 passing yards. Your leading receiver for the Bills tonight, running back Ty Johnson. Yes, that's right. Bills quarterback Josh Allen is on the podium right now, so let's get right over to MVP candidate Josh Allen.
What's your condition?
Yeah, just took a funky ball. More peace of mind than anything, but everything checked out, so we're good.
In this kind of game, how do you stay composed and stay focused on the next drive knowing you have to do it again?
Well, I think, again, the mindset that we had this week was win every play. Whatever the play was, find a way to execute at the highest level, and we were just focused on the next one. Guys made some really good plays tonight.
The defense, down guys, force those 2 punts alive, you go 14-0. How big was it to sort of take control?
Oh, awesome. Young guys stepped up. It's good to see them playing within themselves, and that's a really good team that we just played. And to come out of here, a tough environment, and with a victory going into our last 3 weeks, obviously, it's good.
Dan Campbell talked about your patience being something he's noticed. There was a lot of times where you're stepping up, stepping back, rolling right, kind of could go out of bounds, you stay in bounds. You talk about extending plays. Is that something that you've gotten even better at, you think?
We work on it. Scramble drill's got to be one of our best plays, and our receivers know that. They're just finding ways to get open when the play breaks down a little bit and trying to extend plays when it's not there. And we've had some success on it, and still a couple times probably to put the ball in harm's way. But again, we had some guys make some plays tonight.
Can you speak on the contributions from your running backs tonight?
Yeah, it was awesome tonight. I know Ty had a big game receiving, Ray in the short yardage stuff and scoring a touchdown, and then Jimbo running running really hard, and that's a big credit to our offensive line for giving them opportunities to go and make some plays.
What does it mean with the show that in the last month you've beaten the #1 seed in each conference?
Again, we're just trying to find ways to win, and this is going to help us in the long run. But still, a lot of things that we can learn from this game, take away. Still, offensively, I think we need to find some more. There's too many plays we left out there. So I know it's to nitpick a game like that where you score 48 sounds kind of dumb, but still feel like we left some out there.
To get Keon and Dalton back after absence, how good was it just to get them some catches and moving forward?
Yeah, it was awesome. They came in, they contributed, and in the run game, in the pass game, third downs, Keon makes the big play there on the scramble. So, we missed those guys. We're glad to have them back.
Josh, I understand that you just said you need to improve offensively, but this is like the 3rd time in team history you guys have posted 40-plus points in consecutive games. I mean, where do you think this offense is in its state of development?
I think we got guys that are bought in. That's what it comes down to, and the run game that sets up the pass game, and vice versa. I feel like I missed a couple throws tonight, and can always find ways to get better. So we'll look at the film and look forward to next week.
Josh, in a game against a team like this is so high scoring, how much did it matter to be able to sort of take the game script away from them in the first half by getting that 2-score lead?
Yeah, we felt like, again, that was, one of the ways to beat these guys is, again, you got to score points. And that's what our mindset was. If we had to score 21 to win, we would have tried to score 21. But we're going out there each and every drive and just, again, like reiterating what I said earlier, just win the play. And what does that look like? Is it a check down? Is it a deep ball? Is it a throwaway? Is it a slide? And again, our guys did a good job of winning the play tonight.
What makes Ty such a good route runner?
I think he's really smart. I think he's the best third down back in the game. The way that we communicate, the way that he sees protections, it's quarterback-like, bless you. And he plays the game the right way. He's another guy on this team that we don't really call a running back. He's a football player that plays running back. He's always constantly running towards the ball, helping people up, saying the right things. And, again, he's a big reason why we are where we are.
Josh, I know you had a couple of big leads in this game, but there was no margin for error late, no turnovers again. How do you kind of keep that trend going of taking care of the football as an offense?
Yeah, just trusting in what Joe's calling, trying to find a way to execute each and every given play.
Chest pass for another one.
Yeah, I wish we could have kept that one because that was fun. Getting Dalton back going too, that would have been good for him. But again, we'll learn from it and move on.
The play, was it the shoulder you just landed on in the pilot there late in the game?
Yeah, just a funky feeling. But again, was able to throw and don't feel any pain right now. It was just more precaution than anything. Thank you guys.
Hey Bills fans, Paramount Plus is your home to stream live local NFL on CBS games every Sunday all season long, right through the AFC Championship game. So sign up and sign into Paramount Plus today. All right, that was Bills quarterback Josh Allen. We heard him get asked about getting x-rays after the game. He said he had a funky fall there, but everything looks good to go. It was just for peace of mind, so good to know that Allen is completely fine after taking a hit, a couple in that game. Buffalo's offense, 48 total points against the second best defense in the NFL in the Lions. It was their highest point total so far this season. They did such a good job of spreading the ball around. Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady did a great job with his play call. Buffalo scored on their first 3 drives and really didn't take their foot off the gas. They end up scoring on 8 total drives, punt just once, there's no turnovers, and Josh Allen is not sacked. Why were the Bills so efficient on offense in this one?
Well, they had contributions from everybody. You said it, Maddy. A couple of the tight ends, Kincaid and Knox, made a couple of key plays down the stretch that really were timely more than they were important, just right at the right time. And you look at the stats they put together, the tight ends, it was Kincaid with 4 catches for 53 yards and Knox for 2 catches for 42, a long of 29 for Kincaid and a long of 23 for Knox. They, on a third down play late in the game where the Bills really needed it, they went over the top to Kincaid and Josh put him in right in. And we saw the one-handed tip to himself catch by Knox after that. Really key plays by the 2 big guys. And, of course, Coleman down the sideline on the extended play by Josh. Their ability to make first downs and really stay on the field in the first half. It was because of Josh extending plays, but these guys are getting the fact that they know now, even the young guys like Coleman knows, and Cooper knows, you got to keep the play alive. You're going to get a chance. We saw James Cook catch a ball on an extended play where Josh rolled to his left rather than his right and got it out to midfield on an early part of a drive. Josh's ability to extend the play, having all these guys out there that believe and know he's going to throw it when he gets outside the pocket, has really elevated this offense. The defense played, the Lion defense had a couple of plays where it looked like they were going to have some success, and Josh just wouldn't have it. Turned them into first downs, and that was the difference in the game in the first half. The Lions defense, as good as it is, could not get Josh and this offense off the field.
Digging deeper into how Buffalo's offense played, the Lions defense entered this game playing man coverage at a higher rate than anybody else in the NFL, doing it 47% of the time, and Buffalo had so many answers for man coverage. It's all because of Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. The running backs, they turn into big weapons when a team enters into man defense. Josh Allen's legs take center stage against man. And Khalil Shakir, one of our wide receivers, catches everything. How did Joe Brady dial up just such a great game plan to really torch the Lions' man defense?
Joe was brilliant tonight, and the commentator, Tony Romo, noticed it as well. The timing, the misdirection, the short pass mixed in with the deep shots. And using every weapon available. You got a ton of guys that caught passes in this game. You look at the list, and I think, you've got Ty Johnson, Coleman, Kincaid, Knox, Shakir, Cook, Davis, Hollins, Samuel, all had a pass reception.
9 different players.
9 guys had a pass reception. Nobody had more than 6. That was Shakir. Johnson had 5 on 5 targets. I mean, everybody got into the act, and it was a huge day for him. And that was really, I thought, Joe Brady's play calling and his trust in all these guys, that even in and there was a ton of big moments where the Lions kept getting back into this game because of the injuries on defense, the Bills. And they got a great offense as well. I mean, they threw almost 500 yards. You knew they were going to hang in there. And the trust the Bills had in the big moments, in the crucial third downs, and in those moments when they needed a first down, they spread it around to everybody. They didn't care who it was, and it paid off for them. All these guys came through for them for clutch catches.
I counted 9 plays of at least 20 yards for Buffalo's offense. And even though the Lions scored 42 points, Buffalo's defense did a better job of limiting them on the ground to start the game. That was defensive coordinator Bobby Babich said, our number one thing that we want to do is stop the run. They were able to do so at the beginning of the game. Of course, it's going to turn into a passing game for the Lions because you're trying to play catch up because Buffalo had the lead for the entire game. But there was a point in this game in the third quarter where it was 28-14. The Lions had the football, and quarterback Christian Benford forces a fumble. Linebacker Matt Milano recovers it. Buffalo has great field position, and they score off of that takeaway, 35-14 at that point, and the Bills continued to put their foot on the gas.
Yeah, and it was important too in this game. You see games like this because and you saw it early in the fourth quarter of this game. Dan Campbell knew they had to start trying onside kicks because they could not get the Bills off the field, and they had to close the gap. They were down 17 twice, and they got it to 10 twice, and then they got it even shorter, and they got it to 6 at the end. It was one of those games where, and it wasn't an indictment on these defenses, it was just a superlative offense. It's hard to play defense in this league because of player safety. Guys can't tackle the way they used to. Guys can't play physical in the secondary the way they used to. All these things are working against the defense. So it's hard when you get a team that's really proficient offensively. You're going to give up some plays, and both these teams were playing at such a high level offensively. Both head coaches said, listen, we're going to start trying onside kick. You saw early in the game, the Lions got back into it with some trick plays. The big guy touchdown to Skipper, all of that stuff. They had to do some stuff to hang in there, and they got it done.
Other things going against the defense for both teams. The Lions enter this game with 13 defensive players on injured reserve, and the Bills were without 3 of their starters on defense. Bills head coach Sean McDermott on the podium right now. Let's get right over to him.
Tough win. We figured it was going to be like that here, and it's a really good football team, well coached, team we have a lot of respect for. For us, a unique week, right? Snowstorm. I guess we practiced once and a half, I guess, if you call a walkthrough a practice. So the players asked for probably that again, but that's not going to happen. We'll get back to double days, back to training camp this week. No, I'm just kidding. But great win. And listen, guys were hurt going into the game. We had 3 secondary guys out, and then we lost some guys during the game, and the guys stepped up again. I thought they came out ready to play. They really did. You could tell there was an attitude and a focus about them, even in the week, during the week, and then last night, and then in pregame warm-up, you could tell just something in the locker room. That's what I'm used to feeling. That's what I'm used to seeing. And then, give the Lions credit. There's no quit in that team. They've come back before. I think it was in Houston at least once, and a few other games as well. So We got to learn how to close out a game better, but I thought a couple key plays were certainly getting off to a good start, and then the defense in the second half forcing a 3-and-out, I believe, or a quick punt, and then the forced fumble, and then Mac's, I guess you call it a kickoff return. So a lot of good stuff. Resilient team, tough, a lot we can still improve on. I thought we left some out there, a couple of those red zone sequences. We could be better, but listen, when you're scoring 40-some points and 500-plus yards, but anyway, good team win.
Sean, you've now taken down the top seed in each conference. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, it's not easy, right? Winning in the NFL against any team is not easy, so we don't take those for granted. I think when you're talking about today's game and some of those other games, you're talking about, kind of rare air up there with the best teams that are around right now. And but that's how we're going to have to play every week going forward.
Can you talk about Josh just kind of being superhuman in a game that you knew you had to score 7 every time?
Yeah. No, I thought the entire offensive staff, a lot of good things. Coming out and being able to run the football was important for us, and a credit to our offensive line, and it's everyone, tight ends, wide receivers blocking, the running backs running. I thought Joe did a good job changing some things up as well, and Bobby as well. So great job by the staffs.
So much of the playing in Detroit is about trying to limit that run game. Gibson, Montgomery had under 40 yards combined. Could you explain the sort of philosophy or the adjustments that you made to be able to do that?
Attitude. Yeah, attitude. Usually when you're talking about the run game, it's attitude. It starts with attitude and fundamentals and technique. So that's really where it starts. So it starts in here.
Their onside kick, the first one. Were you surprised at the timing of that?
They've been fairly or pretty aggressive, I would say, with their fourth downs. And they went for one against the Packers, I think it was, on their own, 30 minus territory somewhere, and they didn't get it. Put the Packers in good position there. So obviously, Coach felt like that's, I don't know what he was thinking there, but paid off for us.
Play too.
Yeah, he did.
He tipped it to himself.
Yep, heck of a play. He's a really good football.
I'm sorry, Sean. Coming up last week, I don't know, is it a sense of redemption, whatever. I understand what the scoreboard read at the end of this game tonight, but your defense had held them in the midst of those injuries to, I think, 14 points till really late in the third quarter. What went into this week, and how do you think it translated?
Yeah, again, similar answer to the earlier question about our run defense. Attitude, focus, the orientation of one's mind, like, hey, there's only one answer here, right? And that's to bow up, play with attitude, play with heart. Not that they didn't play with heart before, but you got to want it in this league. You got to want it, and you got to want it every day and every week.
Do you think your team has that certain it when it comes to back against the wall? Because you've done this a few times when, the snowstorms, you've been here before after snowstorms. Yeah. And does your team just sort of have that it factor, you think, a little bit?
I think you got to have it. I think we've shown, that we do have it over the years. We take pride in that. That's Buffalo, baby, right? It is. It's the magic of Buffalo is how I look at it. And, it gives me chills even saying it because our community, our fans, they don't get enough respect. They really don't. And I know people talk about the mafia, but it's not enough. And it goes beyond the mafia. It's the people of Buffalo, the communities, Western New York. Just a lot of heart, a lot of desire, a lot of, just to me, work ethic. And I think this team personifies our community. I really believe that.
When you look at the level of what Josh is playing right now, do you think it's the best he's ever played, or is it just sort of a continuation of what you've always seen?
No, it's the best I've seen him play, and not surprised. When he sets a goal for himself, for a team, he's hard to stop, right? So people have tried. They'll keep trying. That's what we do in this league, and I mean, just incredible performance week after week. And what more can you say? I mean, we're watching every week. We're watching an incredible player play incredibly consistent week after week. And I'll let you guys fill in the rest of the sentence.
You see it in practice, you just said you're not surprised, but on some of those plays, especially when he escapes the pocket and is extending and holding the ball in 6 seconds and 8 seconds, and then makes a play, are you on the sideline sort of marveling at it the way the rest of us are?
Yeah, that and blacking out. Yeah, it's a little bit of both, Judy. Yeah, a little bit of both. So, it's not just. I mean, he's incredible, right? But I want to give credit to everyone on that side of the ball, and it's not just Josh. He's not able to do that. The offensive line isn't doing their job, and it sounds like coach speak, but it's accurate, right? So, it takes a real unselfish approach week after week to get that type of performance.
A game where you gave up 500 yards and 42 points?
Well, I feel good about it. I do. I feel good. You got to celebrate wins in this league. I mean, it's hard to win. It's hard to win here. This team is, they hadn't lost, I think, since the second week of the season, give or take there. We were coming off the game the week before and getting back late, having this no. I mean, good Lord, man, give him the glory first and foremost. I should have said that, but just extremely grateful.
Sean, another big day for Ty Johnson. What are you seeing just with the relationship with him and Josh and then Joe calling plays, putting him in those advantageous spots? What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, Joe's done a really good job. Skip as well, our running backs coach. And the thing I love about Ty is, there was a competition for the running back position early, and there always is. These guys, they're friends, but they also challenge one another. They're pushing each other. One guy has a good run, the next guy wants to get out there and have a good run, and it's a good kind of a good rhythm. And then Ty is showing up in some other areas, one of which has been the passing game. And I love the fact that he's embraced some of that and really working hard on being elite in that category. And because when you have that type of trait, I mean, I met James White before the game out here of the New England time, and I mean, he was very tough to handle in the passing game. So it can really help an offense when you have that type of player.
Sean, you had several players in your secondary who started for a few times this year, and then Craig Jackson came in later.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about those guys who have not normally been in those roles and what they did, especially in the first half of the season?
I mean, you're seeing Cole Bishop out there, right? So a rookie who had a rocky first game, and the thing I love about Cole is he has upped his urgency in terms of his preparation week after week, and then he was making an impact on special teams, and then his number gets called, and I thought, without looking at the film, I thought he looked like he knew his job, and there were some plays there I'm sure that he's going to learn from, and but that, and then Kareem coming in, who I see Kareem. I mean, what an impact he's had on our team. I've always heard great things about him, and to come in as a veteran and handle it the way he's handled it as a person, first class human being, and then as a player, you're in week what are we in 14, 15, whatever it is, and you have to keep yourself ready all season. And he's a veteran player, and it's harder than it sounds, right? But here's a guy that hasn't really played in our system very much, if that, and he was ready to go. And so credit the coaches, credit Kareem, and I mean that's why we recruit the types of people that we do. It's because and Brandon does a great job of this. It's in the DNA. So I think Kareem's a great example of it. All right, thank you guys.
It's time for this week's Player Spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills. And today we are highlighting Bills running back Ty Johnson. 5 catches, 114 yards, added 2 carries for 9 yards on the ground. Steve, why did he have such a big game tonight?
Well, he started out early, and it was his pass receptions, which is unusual. He's not the guy that you usually throw it to. But Josh laid this one over the top. Tough catch for a running back right out of the gate, too. This is 13-16 in the first quarter. I mean, nothing had happened up to this point. We didn't know how it was going to go. This is great to throw it to a young guy like this and have him come through. That uplifts the entire sideline. Of course, then this one early in the second quarter where he goes down the sideline and catches this one. Great pick play there, wide open. Great catch over the top. Josh overthrew that almost a little bit, but pulling it in. Just a great moment and great job by him. And he chipped in with some rushes as well. He had like 2 rushes for 9 yards as well. But just right what you want him to be. Not a guy that has been really involved in the passing game, so you knew it was a little bit of crossover from what Detroit would have been expecting from him. He came through big time for him, and that's huge to see. And at that point in the game, the early part of the game, you don't know how this game's going to go, and you show up, and the sideline needs somebody to say, "Hey, this is it." A young guy like that coming out and making some plays right out of the gate is huge for the emotional content of the sideline. It's an awesome job by him.
Johnson really helped set the tone for Buffalo's offense in the first half. 3 plays of at least 24 yards, not just plays, catches by a running back, finishes with 115 receiving yards. The Bills were hitting on those wheel routes with him involved. Johnson says, "I want to add a spark to this offense when I'm in the game. I want to showcase that I've done my prep and I know how to help this team move the ball." Why does he add such a unique wrinkle to this offense?
Well, because he's the third running back that you'd see. Ray Davis has been big. Of course, James Cook is always a threat and can split out wide and run it, but they use Ty Johnson like that. And I think one of the things that is important about it is he has started to emerge. They are rewarding him for how hard he has worked and the production that he's getting it together right now. That's huge for the roster, and he's another example of the culture that's inside the building from the coaching staff all the way down. If you're working hard and doing the right things, somebody is noticing, and you're going to get rewarded for it. In a game like this, Ty Johnson coming out and hanging that up on the Detroit Lions, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
You got to believe they wanted to give him some love in this game because he was drafted by the Lions in the 6th round of the 2019 draft. Here he is as a Buffalo Bill leading the way for receivers, 115 yards on the night for him. What a game. Let's continue talking about our offense. We're going to throw it to our left tackle, Dion Dawkins, who is answering questions in the locker room.
I mean, anytime the offense touches in the field, we shoot for 7. So, but yeah, every game, we want to push for 7 no matter what. But every time the offense touches that field, we push for 7 no matter what. Whether it was the Lions, the Patriots, the Jets, whoever, we want to score every time we touch that football.
We've asked you a lot of times about 17. What are your thoughts on him now?
Yeah, I'm his biggest fan. I told him that mid-game. I said, "Josh, I'm your biggest fan, bro. I'm honored to be his left tackle. You know, I'm honored to be the best for him."
Every game, there's always somebody different who steps up, and Ty Johnson just exploded today. For you, what is it like to see a guy like that who puts in so much work, kind of have a big day?
Yeah, you know, it's only a matter of time, and before the work that you put in gets the shine that it deserves. And Ty is just one of those guys that he's just himself. He plays hard, he practices hard, he's in the building early. He was even in the building on the day that the whole world was shut down in Buffalo, I think, which was Wednesday. He was in the building. So, you know, like that just shows the type of kid he is, and I'm proud of him.
What is the mindset when you are going swing for swing with another team that's putting up points and you keep doing it, you keep matching them?
Yeah, it's a heavyweight fight, and not to correct you, like we're not matching them, you know, we're matching ourselves, and we're being able to put ourselves in a position and not play against us, and then also play against the other team. You know, it's a good day for the Buffalo Bills.
Dion, how satisfying was it to win up front the way you guys did both sides of the ball today?
Say it again?
How satisfying was it to win up front the way you guys did both sides of the ball today?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when the offense can, you know, play offense and, you know, put that pedal to the metal and, you know, go behind 17. You know, like 17, you know, he's out there, he's extending plays, and as the O-line up front, we have to win that trench battle. We knew, like, coming in that we had to win the trenches. You know, like late in the season, it becomes a trench warfare. Like, you know, it's a O-line against the D-line, and you know, my chips are with us. Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey Bills fans, Paramount Plus is your home to stream live local NFL on CBS games every Sunday all season long, right through the AFC Championship game. So sign up and sign into Paramount Plus today. We just heard from Bills left tackle Dion Dawkins. He said, hey, I'm such a big fan of our quarterback, Josh Allen. 17 is our lucky number on this offense. 48 points by Buffalo today. Allen finishes with a 67% completion percentage, a 122 passer rating. And watching this game, I counted at least 5 plays that were just crazy, out of this world, describes Allen as the complete alien that he is when he plays the quarterback position. He had that 4th and 2 conversion, that 31-yard pass over to Ty Johnson in the second quarter. He then has a 64-yard pass to Keon Coleman in the second quarter. In the first quarter, he had that play where he evaded pressure and a sack and then completed a pass to his running back, James Cook. And then he had a couple more in the third and fourth quarter. There was that chest pass that should have been a touchdown, but no touchdown because of a penalty on the play. Multiple touchdowns where Allen looks like an MVP level quarterback. He's in the conversations and I believe is so deserving because of the season that he's having this year. He's not doing too much, but in the second half of the season, he's really turned it on with his legs. He's making the right decisions. He's taking his time in the pocket, and he has become such an efficient passer for this offense. 5 rushing touchdowns over the last 2 games by Allen. Why does he deserve to be the MVP this year, Steve?
Well, tonight was a perfect example, and I'll say this too, that they're in rarefied air now, in that they're in a zone where the only way the Detroit Lions got them even off the field, forget about winning the game or whatever, the only way the Detroit Lions had any success against the Bills is if the Bills gave them a holding penalty or a false start penalty or dropped a pass, that kind of thing. They had guys running open. Even when they got down close, that one, the chest pass that got called back, they had a touchdown taken off the field, off the board by a holding penalty. And then they got a false start penalty. So those 2 penalties in consecutive plays forced the field goal try by Tyler Bass that he got that made the deficit 17 again. They are a team that is playing so well offensively that if they don't help you, you're not going to get them. Not just beat them, you're not even going to get them, this offense off the field. So no matter how your offense is doing, unless you get help from this offense right now, you're not winning. And that's rare. That's a rarefied air. I think Detroit has been there a couple of times this year where they're scoring 40 and 50. We saw how prolific they are tonight. And the Bills, they had the one play where they knocked the ball out of St. Brown's hands and got the fumble recovery. And that was the play they made. And it was really the only play they did. There were 2 times in this game, when you look back at the scoring and the way it came through, there where the Bills doubled up, scored twice in a row in the game, and the Lions couldn't match it, didn't have a chance to match it. So that was the difference. It's rare, and it's all because Josh has the ability to never say die on a play. A lot of players don't want to say die, but Josh has the power to give life. He had the one intentional grounding play where they did get loose on him, and that was a penalty on us. If he just throws it out of bounds a little quicker rather than trying to hang on in there, that's the one probably bad play I saw him make all night, or the one unfortunate play. Other than that, you can't get him off the field. It was a rare performance tonight by the Bills offense, very rare. And it was led by Josh Allen. And he didn't do it every play. He had a couple of runs, called runs, that were difference makers. And you could just feel the Detroit Lions defense go, just shrug their shoulders, like, what are we going to do?
Anything.
I mean, Aaron Glenn's got to be over there going, dude, there's no defense for this.
Well, here's the thing. The defense would be to use a spy, but on a lot of the plays, it seemed like there was a lot of room for Allen to sink out and find some open room and grab a first down on the ground.
That's right. And here's the thing with the spy. Teams do use spies. The Bills use it against Lamar Jackson on occasion and Pat Mahomes on occasion. You use a spy. Here's the problem with the spy. You've got a guy that's wasted in pass coverage and wasted in pass rush. So you don't have a guy in coverage or rushing. He's standing there just kind of watching. If your quarterback's beating you from the pocket, you don't need the spy's wasted. And Josh Allen is now beating people standing there from the pocket. You can spy him if you want, but that's a guy that goes to waste.
Yeah.
And defenses don't want to do that every single snap because they've got guys on the outside, too many guys, the Bills, that can win against a man short coverage. They're humming. They are humming offensively.
8 straight games of at least 30 points for Buffalo's offense. This MVP caliber play that we're seeing from Bills quarterback Josh Allen is rightfully so because he is so good, so incredible at playing the position, but it's also because of the offensive line. He's the least sacked quarterback in the NFL so far this season, and because of his playmakers alongside of him. The rushing offense has a great day today, 197 yards on the ground. Over 100 of that was from James Cook, and then you have guys stepping up, catching passes from Allen too. It's everybody working together, and I think at this point in the season, we're seeing this offense totally comfortable with each other. You got a first-year play caller in Joe Brady in Buffalo. You've got a bunch of new pieces, and it's just working now.
The creativity was great from Joe Brady. He was complimented by Tony Romo from the booth tonight. The plays that they had, they were wide, they were diverse. I saw maybe one run play that they repeated that they had snapped off a 7-yard run. It still was okay successful, but they didn't repeat very many plays. And they had a lot of creativity, and guys were running free in the secondary, and Josh was putting it on them even when they weren't. It was a thing of beauty, and scoring 48 points on the Detroit Lions is, that's a feather in the cap of Joe Brady.
Pretty awesome for sure. 3 games left for Buffalo, 2 at home and 1 on the road. The Bills will face the Patriots next week at Highmark Stadium. We want to thank you for tuning in to Bills Postgame Live. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. We'll see you all next week.